Hi friends, here's my recap of study article 36, which the title of which is Value the Strength of Youth. You know what I find interesting is that Watchtower claims to be the only true religion on earth. They claim that we are in the last day of the last day of the last day. Yet the best they can do is build Watchtower study articles around how to treat others. Value the strength of youth. Last week's was treasure the faithful older ones. Really? They have to build a study article over how to treat people? I don't know. Don't get me started, but this one should be pretty quickly. I don't have very many slides. And let's get right into it, okay? Notice the preview. What's underlined? Older ones in the congregation can help younger ones to use their strength fully in Jehovah's service. Paragraph 1. As we grow older, we may be afraid that we are not going to be as useful to Jehovah as we once were. That's what these are all about, friends, being useful, working. What's underlined? One longtime elder said, "When I began to feel the limitations of old age, I was grateful that there were qualified younger brothers available to take up the work." Take up the work? What does that even mean? Let's see what this article is really about. Paragraph 3, what's underlined? Older ones must be humble if they want to help younger ones. A humble person views others as being superior to him. Superior. Now that's an interesting word that Watchtower loves, but that's not what Philippians 2 verses 3 and 4 says. It says to view others as better than themselves, not superior, because there's a difference. One means higher in rank or office or more exalted in dignity, but the word better than means more acceptable. You see, in the prior verses in Philippians here, Paul was talking about unity, and he was counseling his readers of this letter he was writing. He was counseling them against dishonesty and greed. He challenged them to stop focusing on themselves and to put the needs of others first. That's what it's talking about. It's not talking about others who are superior. We're all men. We're all women. None are superior than others, regardless of what the governing body members think. So moving along in the paragraph, it basically is talking about how older ones have a realistic view of how things were done in the past. It says in the box, they realize that the scene of this world is changing and that it may be necessary for them to adapt to new circumstances. So now I'm getting a general idea of what this article is really about, because you see, the indoctrinated older Jehovah's Witnesses are aware of the failed doomsday prophecies that have been going on for decades in this organization. And now they're going to quickly recognize that there's a new face in the making, that this organization is changing. You see, because they cannot have any more failed prophecies. They cannot, in my opinion, be a doomsday cult any longer, talking so much about the end of the world, because the internet exposes their lies. So they're reforming themselves into something new, and the older ones are going to really notice it. So now they're told that they must adapt to new circumstances. 1 Corinthians 7:31, they claim, is in support of this, but that's talking about not conforming to the world because it's passing away. Paragraph 4 in the box says, consider, for example, our circuit overseers. When they reach 70 years of age, they are invited, really, to take up a different assignment. That may be a challenge. They cherished the privilege of serving their brothers. It was an assignment they loved, okay. And the desire to be used in that way is still burning brightly in their heart. But they understand that younger hands are needed to care for the work. Circuit overseers, friends, traveling overseers, all they did basically was travel to and from the congregations. They didn't work. They didn't have skills to work, most of them, because they'd been circuit overseers for decades. They had no car. They had no income. Most likely they signed a vow of poverty, and when they retire, at least in the United States, there will be, as a result of signing the vow of poverty, there will be no government assistance that comes monetarily every month. So now Watchtower is done with them. They let them go. And where do they go? They have no home. Where do they go? That's reality of the circuit overseer, the aging circuit overseer situation. Moving along, the box on the right compares older ones to Levites in the Bible. You know, the priests who served in the tabernacle. They cite Numbers 8, 25, and 26, which says that a Levite older than 50 was to cease working and serve no more, but they were to minister with their brethren in the tabernacle. It's right there, friends. Remember that. The older ones were to cease working. How can Watchtower even cite this verse when their magazines are filled with how elderly witnesses, 80 years old, 90 years old, they boast how they're just working their fingers to the bone for this organization still. So the box on the bottom talks about how former circuit overseers are proving to be a real blessing to the congregation to which they are assigned. Friends, they have no income. A former circuit overseer, unless he comes from a wealthy family who can support him, have to get jobs, real jobs, in the real world for the first time in their lives. Let's quickly move through these paragraphs. Paragraph 5 in the box. Consider the example of Dan, who served as a circuit overseer for 23 years. And guess what happened? At the age of 70, he and his wife were assigned to be special pioneers, more working. Yet Numbers 8:25 says that they shall serve no more. Dan says that now he is busier than ever, no kidding. And here they list some of his tasks. He helps brothers, he trains others. And then next they say, older ones who shall serve no more, according to Numbers 8. Whether you are in full-time service or not, you can do much to help others. Stop working. Paragraph 6 in the box. Similarly, a modest person knows when it's time to change to a lower gear so that he can continue to be active and productive in Jehovah's service. Philippians 4:5, friends, says to let your moderation be known unto all men. Why? Because the Lord is at hand. Paul here in this verse encourages moderation because there was a public argument amongst two people. He stated you have to calm down, have moderation, because Christ is returning soon. That's what this paragraph is talking about. Where is there any mention in this of continuing to be active and productive in the service to the God of the Watchtower? I don't see it. Paragraph 8 is interesting. It talks about King David who wanted to build the temple. Notice the box. But when Jehovah informed him that this privilege would be given to young Solomon, David accepted Jehovah's decision and gave his wholehearted support to the project. Really? Oh, okay. The reason David was not able to build the temple was because he was a warrior, as detailed in 1 Chronicles 22 there. Keep going. David knew that the success, here we go, of the construction project depended on Jehovah's blessing, not on the age or the experience of those taking the lead. This is nonsense, friends. Notice the projected construction projects for 2021 according to their website. 7,218 projects. It's a construction company, friends. Paragraph 9 talks about this brother named Shigeo, who slaved his whole life for this organization. You can read a story if you like in the paragraph, but he doesn't have a last name, so let's move on. Notice the caption under the picture. It says, King David accepted God's decision that his son would construct the temple. Friends, Solomon built the temple. Solomon was not in charge of construction projects. There was one temple, one construction project, not over 7,000, for which slaves and people who need to take up the work are required. Not small commercial buildings all over the world like Watchtower, friends. Paragraph 11 discusses Naomi and turns the book of Ruth into a book about how elderly Naomi accepted help from the younger Ruth. Friends, the book of Ruth is a beautiful prophetic book about the kinsman redeemer Boaz. Read it. It's about Christ. It foreshadows how Christ is the kinsman redeemer for mankind, how Christ redeemed mankind from sin and death. It's not about elderly Naomi accepting help from the younger Ruth. Just total nonsense. Paragraph 12. The Apostle Paul was grateful for the help he received. For example, he thanked the Christians in Philippi for material gifts they had sent to him. Where's the money, Watchtower? Where's the money? We're almost finished. Paragraph 14. We find in the example of King David another vital quality that older ones need to show: generosity. He made substantial donations from his personal wealth to support the construction of the temple, friends, the temple. Paragraph 16. Older ones today are not afraid that they will no longer be useful. That's about it, friends. The last paragraph talks about older ones and younger ones working together. I wonder what the indoctrinated think about this. This article was so lame. What do you think about this? Apparently, some of this information had come from past articles. Are they even writing anything new? I don't know what's going on with this organization, friends, but hopefully you learned something from this, and hopefully it helped. Turn to Jesus today. He is the way, the truth, and the life. You know, when a person leaves the Jehovah's Witness organization, they wonder, well, where am I going to go now? But it's not where to go, it's to whom to go. Because Christ is the way. He doesn't point you to the way. Christ is the way. Christ is the truth. He doesn't point you to the truth. And guess what? Christ is the life. He doesn't point you to the life. Turn to him today, friends. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.